Today, we're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to show you all of the images that we are going to take before I actually show you the behind the scenes content. During this shoot, I take a lot of frames. I think I took about 600 total in under a half an hour. But what you're gonna see is actually just all of the active photography time kind of all cut together, so there's no walking, finding different locations. And while I am taking a lot of frames, I don't really feel like I'm overshooting it. I think that when you go out with a couple for the first time, they've never had their photos taken in this style before. They don't really know what to expect. It is a learning experience for them. It is a learning experience for me photographing them. So I take a lot of frames, and every individual movement I have a frame of so that I can just pick the exact specific best ones. I think in the shoot I take about 600 images and I deliver them about 50, so under 10%. Usually my wedding ratio is a little bit higher than that, but because this is kind of our first experience with it, I'm okay with that. To get the best possible 50 images, if I have to shoot 600 or 1,000 or even 2,000, I'm happy to do that. I use Photo Mechanic. You can go through images really, really fast to make your selects, so that should never be a drawback. Also, memory cards are so cheap now, so memory cards should also not be a drawback. I'm shooting raw on everything, and you're actually able to see, we get into editing at the end of this video, you're able to see all the settings, so hop over there if you want to see exactly how I edited all the images that you just saw. These images were also all edited with my new preset. It will be up on Patreon July 2nd. I'm just making sure it's exactly perfect before I put it up, so mark it on your calendar to join up if you're not yet a member on Patreon. You get all of my presets, so not just the new one, you get literally everything as well as a bunch of other stuff. And wait until the 1st of the month or 2nd of the month to join, because if you join on the 30th of the month, Patreon does this dumb thing where they'll charge you when you sign up, and they'll charge you again on the 1st of the month. Sorry, I have no control over that, but I hope to see you over there on Patreon and enjoying the new preset. And it's so awesome to see so many people on the Patreon member group on Facebook sharing images that they've edited with my presets. So really, really great work, everyone. I'm really excited to see what you all create over the summer. Let's get to the video. But you can walk towards me and just slowly and just look at each other and pretend you're, all right. Those look really good already. There's like at least 3 good ones. Want to put an arm around each other and just smile and look towards me. And yeah, just looking and smiling, facing me. All right, looks good. I'm gonna do a few more with my second camera over here. This is a Nikon Z6 with the 35mm S lens for it. Well, we can do a few and like whatever you end up liking the best. This is actually perfect right here. If you guys want to hold hands, just kind of walk along this way here. That's good. And then can I make you guys flip sides? This is the best spot with the sun coming through. And same deal, just like really unreasonably happy with one another. Awesome. And if you want to stop there, just like arm around each other and just smile and look at me. Perfect. And if you guys want to put both arms around each other and really cuddle in nice and close. And rotate kind of this way just so I can see both of you kind of from over here. Yeah, that's good like that. And this looks really incredible. I'm happy we came here, and I'm happy that we found this little spot of sun. That looks really nice too. Do you want to give her a kiss on, like on the temple, kind of? If that makes any sense? Looks good. And you can even close your eyes. You don't have to be looking right at me. Now, rest your head kind of even onto is something like that's good. And you can kind of look at each other. That looks good. And if you want to like just really squeeze them. Awesome. All right, if you guys want to be right there, that looks really great. Same thing? Yeah, same thing. Just like you can just put both arms around each other and get really close and just pretend that I'm not here, just creeping on you. You have one kind of little piece of hair up top. Yeah, sorry, the sun's just catching it. It's just going to save me 5 minutes in Photoshop, so I appreciate that. That looks great. Perfect. And can I rotate you guys just... Yeah, exactly like that. And you can face each other and get really close again. And... Awesome. These look so good. Cool. Do you want to just hold a hand and just stand side by side there? Like the more. No. That's good. If you guys want to keep kind of walking down this path really slowly, more than welcome to. Looks really good. Awesome. Arms maybe up on just kind of her shoulder. I don't know if that switches things. The shoulder. That looks good. And kind of pull it, yeah. If you want to put your arm back up kind of on her shoulder like you were there. Actually, that looks really good. If you want to do that, kind of kiss on the cheek again. And slide your arm maybe like a little bit kind of behind almost. Like that's good. Perfect. Alright, and if you just want to like kind of just like look at each other and be happy for a second or two. Amazing. Put your arm kind of back on her shoulder or somewhere just kind of so I can see you have a hand on the side. Frames things a little better. That's good. If you want to give her another kiss on the temple there and hold it for like a brief second. That's good. And you can kind of almost, don't look at me, you can kind of look kind of into him a little bit more whenever that happens. Or you know what? Can you even close your eyes for it even though it's super weird?
Yes.
Okay, I promise it's worth it.
I don't even know how to
All right.
do that.
No, you can. This looks incredible. All right, keep doing that for a second. This is my new favorite spot. Pull your hair back over, kind of, yeah, just like that. And I'm gonna make you do this 2 times, but can you walk towards me? Same deal, just be happy with each other. And you don't have to look at me at all. You can just look at each other, yeah. Perfect. And I'm gonna make you go back to that spot, and we're gonna do a few more just with the, And same deal, just get like really unreasonably close together, and you can put an arm up kind of around her. That's good there. And then if you want to do one more where you kind of have your arm back on kind of the back of her shoulder again. That's good there. Or even kind of more behind if it feels comfortable at all. Yeah, something like that. Awesome. That was good. And if you want to walk towards me one more time. And same deal, looking at each other and just being happy with each other. Alright, that's good. And if you guys want to look kind of at each other there. Maybe a little more, or brush your hair kind of out of your face just so I can see, like, at least. That's good right there. And I'll have you guys facing each other. That's good. And put both arms around each other one more time and just get really nice and close. All right, that's all for the shoot. Hopefully that gave you a sense to the flow when we actually are taking images. Welcome to the editing section of this video. I delivered, I think, like 45, 50 images, but I'm just going to go through 16 of them as all the lighting conditions are basically the same. So I don't need to drag you through all the images because it's kind of the same thing and you're just clicking the previous button. The previous button is actually hidden behind my head here. So this here is a button that I use a lot. You can set it to a hotkey as well if you want that. One thing that I did screw up was that I shot the Nikon Z6 on JPEG only mode. This was the first actual time that I had this camera out in the wild. And the way that the menu is set up, it appears as though you're shooting like large JPEG and RAW, but then when you scroll down, it opens up a whole new menu. It was silly, whatever. I guess that's kind of a testament to shooting correctly in camera, because if I would have just like butchered the white balance and not set that up, even though it's a very easy switch to make, these images would have been a lot harder to edit and or might have ended up black and white. So I'm going to use this subtle preset here. This preset actually doesn't exist yet in your world, but it'll be on Patreon on July 2nd. So July 2nd at like 9 a.m. usually I post. It'll be up on Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, and if you're not, maybe put it on your calendar to join in July. Don't join the last like 3 days of the month, because you're going to get, this is something I have no control of. Patreon charges when you sign up, and then they charge on the first of the month. So if you sign up on like June 30th, they're going to charge you again on July 1st. So wait until July 1st or July 2nd when this preset's out to get it. Save yourself some money. Quite honestly, like one click with this, I'm pretty happy. I'm still going to be refining it a little bit. So this is like the 95% finished version of the preset. But I'm pretty happy with that. Like one click. Also the JPEGs that are coming off of this, I'm super happy with. Again, I feel like that's just kind of a one click. It's a little too magenta. Let's see. That's not quite right, I don't think. Although it does look nice. So the original version, this is auto white balance in camera. And this is what Lightroom believes the white balance should be. I kind of feel like there's a middle ground somewhere in there that's not super wild. Maybe something like that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to set this white balance to that as well. What number? 16. Where'd my face go? My face is gone, guys. There's my face. It's gone again. Here. Float on top. I do my screen recording in QuickTime like a true professional. All right, 16. You know what? I'll just copy these settings over. So it did okay. The other thing that's kind of nice is that there does seem to be a lot of range in the Z6 JPEG files. The other hack that I guess, and the other reason that I guess maybe I'm not even upset that I shot JPEG, is because when I do family shoots, or if I'm doing a lot of family shoots like back to back to back to back, what I do is I just load all the raw files in for safekeeping in case I've screwed anything up. But if I'm doing a bunch of family shoots, I'm usually editing from the JPEGs. I have my D-lighting set to high in my Nikon D850, and that tends to make a really actual great image that takes me a while to replicate in changing the raw file from it. So it is, I guess, like maybe the easier way to go about editing a session, that you can optimize your Lightroom. You can speed your Lightroom up so it's super fast, but editing from JPEGs, everything is just like way faster. You load it into here, and essentially what I'm doing here that, I guess we're on to the raw files now. So, but basically what I did was like, I edited this file, and because it's all roughly in the same lighting condition, it's just all the same settings a bunch of times in a row. So, easy enough, right? All right. So now into the raw, the 12-bit or whatever raw files that are going to look pretty much the same as the JPEGs that I just edited. So JPEG, I don't know, the JPEG looks even sharper. It might be the lens though. The 35 S lens for the Z series is really, really fantastic. I'll be making a review about that eventually. I kind of wanted to show the difference, I guess, just in crop here. So this is just kind of like, I guess, the way that I would usually shoot it, and then stepping in a little bit to change things up just a little bit, really kind of simplify the background. It went from kind of being this like weird, like rule of thirds, like kind of almost perfect, but kind of competing with them. And also this line kind of cutting through their face here, to something like this that feels like a much more softer image. And all I did was just kind of, well, I moved them completely. But I did kind of was very aware of the background. The other thing that I like, the reason that I shoot at 1.4, is that like they're both quite sharp here. And I really do kind of just make sure they're on the same focus plane for shots like this. If they're facing each other, usually they're one person has focus just because that's the way the image is kind of working. But at 1.4 from a distance like this, they can definitely both be in focus. With if you're shooting at 1.4 from like 3 feet away, that's a little bit more challenging to get them both in focus. But the further you go back, the more depth of field you can create. So I guess there's always a balance. So kind of find that for yourself, I guess. I'm almost feeling like a little bit green. Man, I am starting to like just kind of natural real white balances a lot more now. For a long time, I've just kind of shot really, really overly warm. And my joke was that life looks better in a sunset. And I do believe that, but I feel like this is kind of the right amount of sunset almost, that feels a little bit more natural and real. Whereas in previous lifetime, I would have been comfortable doing even something like that, which still does look good to me. But I feel like the way that I'm just kind of, I don't know, changing up a little bit over this year, is making things look more natural. And I think that's because of the fact that I shoot a lot of video now, and I'm happy with the way that that video looks. And I shoot that to look a little bit more natural just because you have less actual leverage in post-production. It's a little slanty. All right. So yeah, subtle preset. Even like dark like that, I like it a lot. What it does, that's kind of like the effect that it does. It gives you those tones. This is more of kind of the overall look that my images have. But if you're into that dark and moody, somewhere around here might be all right, because that also looks good. It's hard because you never really know. Like there's so many different ways you can edit images. And you never really know which one is like the correct one. Like same with this, that like that looks really good, but then also like that looks a little bit more like what they probably saw on my website. But I kind of like that a lot. I might leave that one there. I'm gonna do that a little bit. I guess the other thing with presets is that you have to kind of stick to something that's like roughly similar. So all of the presets that I have here, that are all available on Patreon, they all really do work well together, that if I use this on one gallery and then I use like summer 2018 warm on another gallery, that it's not going to feel like it's a completely different photographer. So they all work together and they all work in different situations. So find what situations your presets work well in. This subtle preset that's new is basically when you're in optimal conditions, and you're able to just like kind of do like a one click almost in most cases, that it gives it a little bit extra, that it makes it feel a little bit more kind of like matte finish that I like, rather than just kind of like, I don't know what I can't really do a gloss image. It's a screen, but just kind of like the film, the way that it feels. I tend to make all of my presets kind of feel that way. And they all work interchangeably. And a lot of them I've kind of developed to fix problems. So if you're shooting in like a very bright and or a very dark and like incandescent environment, that I have some presets that kind of do the opposite, that just fix whatever is kind of looking weird. This preset I think is just for like when everything comes together well on a day and you're happy with the photos and you're happy with the light and everything worked well. And you just want that little boost of kind of something that makes it feel not like an iPhone photo or not just like basic camera color. And you want to, I'm going to get rid of this. There's like a little, there we go. All right. That's all for the edit. That's all I have to say today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and head over to Patreon on July 2nd, and you will be able to get this preset, and it will be done by then. I think it's done. I have to test it more. I have to run it through more scenarios, and I have a wedding this weekend, so I'm going to try it on that. And then after that, I think it's ready to release. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you again whenever I see you again.